A man should never admit fault. Now, this is going to be one of the more controversial videos I mean, but whenever you are accused of something, whenever you're accused of something or anything, never, and I repeat, never, ever acknowledge that you did anything wrong. I don't care if you did or didn't do it. It doesn't matter. You still say I never did it. You say no, I have no idea what you're speaking about. No, that never happened. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Say I don't understand the question. Whatever you do, never say yes, I did this wrong thing, because the millisecond you admit some sort of guilt or admit that you did something, people are going to rip you apart. If you watch my video that I said, you know, it is a dog eat dog world. One of the things you guys need to understand, all people are subconsciously looking for subpar males. They're looking for people who they can bully. They're looking for people who they can treat lesser than. They're looking for people who they can treat any type of way. They're looking for these things. Okay? Because remember, we live in a very zero-sum world. We live in a very zero-sum world where, for somebody to eat, they have to take food from someone else. That's just the way that it is. I know it sucks. I know it's horrible, but it's just the way that it is. Everything I speak about on this channel, it's not even a thing where like, oh, I'm some horrible guy in the corner. I'm just giving you the advice. I'm giving you the sauce on how you should move in this world. Back to what I was saying. Never admit, Darvo, deny, attack, reverse, blame somebody else, admit it wasn't. Now, internally on your own accord, by yourself, when nobody's watching, you can see, oh, I made a mistake here. Oh, I did this wrong. But don't tell nobody. Don't tell a single person. I don't care if it's you're a lawyer. You'd still say, I never did that shit. I don't care if there's video evidence. You still say, I never did it. And then, at that stage, you maintained your innocence. You maintained your innocence. Now, first of all, you shouldn't be getting into retarded situations to begin with. And on a side note, a big part of this is that one of the manliest things that I've really came to see, is that a real man plans. A real man plans. He premeditates almost everything that he does. Everything. If you watch my video that I said back saying that I said something along the lines of like watching beforehand, pre-watching, looking ahead of time. Don't just walk. Literally watch. Like literally look, who are the people here? Where are the spaces at? And etc. And then you choose to walk. You're gonna walk better. Think about your intention. I made a whole video about that. You should go watch it. That's also a big part of that. There's a little alarm happening. Anyways, back to the point though. Because the thing is, you got to understand is that if and when you acknowledge that you did something wrong, or that something was your fault, or that something blah, 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 people will now use that excuse at the back of their minds. They'll always have it on you. They'll paste it literally on your forehead. Literally on your forehead. I swear to God. So, they'll see you as some sort of weak or some sort of untrustworthy. Guys, let me tell you something. Your reputation is who you are. There's so many people out there that you think, oh, this guy's a good guy. Turns out he's actually a terrible human being, but he makes you think that is. And that's how you treat him. That's how people respond to him. And some people out there, because they look so bad, people paint them so bad, but then you meet them in reality, they're actually one of the best people in the world. So smear campaigns are real. Very, very real. When people try to defame your name, they know they maybe can't get to you because it might be too risky or too weird or whatever, or maybe it just might not work. Because a lot of the times when what people do in social settings, whether at schools, workplaces, it happens where if somebody knows that, what happens in a lot of these spaces, it's almost like there are people who are some sort of bullies, so to speak, where they try to fit people underneath their arm. And whenever you're not abiding by that, they need to keep these people underneath their arm and say, yeah, he's a bad guy. And really, let me just tell you the truth, man. When it comes to these normies, I don't care, let's say it. When it comes to these normies, when it comes to these below average, short, ugly, weird, low status, the list continues type of guys, it just doesn't matter. Don't even acknowledge them. Don't even give them any attention, not even a reaction. Because it's a very weird thing when somebody ignores you. It's a very weird thing. It's one of the hardest and weirdest things where I'm not even going to give you that energy. I noticed this back in the day when I was in school, right? And it happens sometimes too at the current school where I'm at. But eventually I learned how to deal with it. Is that back in the past, if somebody says something disrespectful, I'd be like, oh, I gotta fight this guy. Oh, I gotta punch him in the face to show him in this. And the honest answer to the situation as I've gotten older is that, okay, first, if somebody literally attacks you, like either attacks you, takes your property, you know, um, attacks you, take your property, is impeding when you're walking or anything, then yes, we're letting the hands fly. It has to, because now you're physically, impeding me. But if people are just saying words over there in the corner, don't even acknowledge them. And it's a very, very, if somebody comes up to you and starts talking shit, then you can talk shit back at them. Tell them I'm not your fucking friend. And then maybe you can clock them because now they're coming up to you. But assuming that isn't the case, literally ignore them. Literally, if you watch my video when I said that a man must have an ego, it plays into this where you're not even worth my time. You're not even worth my energy. You're not even worth my focus or attention. And the honest answer to that situation is that they're not. Let me tell you something about subpar, essentially low value males and it's always the guys who are short and ugly and weird. It's always them. I swear to God, it's always them. I have never in my life, ever in my entire whole life, ever seen a guy who's tall, who's in shape, who's some sort of good looking, ever in any capacity try that weird little bro, son disrespectful, sly, little sleek. It's almost like you're talking to a girl with some of these guys, the way some of them behave, like, to be real with you. And then you treat them like girls. Like, you're not even worth my time. Literally. I'm not even going to argue with you. Because a lot of these guys, you might think that, oh, I need to say something slick back. It's like, no, you don't. That's one of the things I had to learn much older on in life, which is that, like, sometimes you might feel like trash talk, or maybe, like, I guess some sort of back and forth talk, it needs to be some sort of clever or anything. But really, now you're just being a jester. You're playing into that game. You're playing into their little circus, jump around bullshit, right? Because now they want you to bring you down to their. Because a lot of these guys, a lot of these women, even, they are so used to these little dumbass back and forths with people that they're just gonna beat you with experience. They heard the comebacks and everything. So if you say something, a cold, hard, simple line, I'm not your friend. There's no rebuttal to, yes, I am. And you say it like you mean it, like I am above you and you are beneath me. Like, there's nothing that they can say to you at that stage. So another thing that you should also know is that do not tell people your problems. I don't care who. I don't care if it's your friend. I don't care if it's your wife. I mean, well, okay, if you got into a car accident and you have a cast, okay, that's obvious. But I'm not talking about that. Not something obvious. If you got into a car accident, man, that's crazy. But then you didn't get into a car accident, so let's stop talking about it. I'm saying that do not tell people your problems. I don't care what type of problems you have. Nothing. You should never admit to any type of problems you have. You should never tell anybody anything, one of your problems. If anything, just lie. Literally just lie. Why don't you have a girlfriend? It's just like, ah, man, I was trying to talk to these girls, this one girl, and then, she was just crazy, so I just left it, you know? You know what I'm saying? Just, I don't know, maybe that's not the best one. Or you could just be like, these girls always want me, and I'm just so busy, or something. Like, with all those examples, you're playing yourself up. You're playing yourself up. Never admit, tell people your problems. Let me tell you who you should tell. If you have a medical problem, you go tell a doctor. Okay? If you have an accounting problem, you go tell an accountant. If you have a car issue, you go tell a car mechanic. So there it goes. Anybody else who doesn't serve a direct way of fixing that problem or improving your situation should literally not be told anything about it. Never tell people your problems, dude. I'm telling you, never tell people that you never had a girlfriend. Never tell people that any one of these things. You always lie, you inflate. Okay, not too hard. Okay, you can't say, oh, I had a Lamborghini last week. Okay, that's crazy. But the point still remains, you do not tell anybody your problems. And if anything, you should brag. You should brag about stuff. Yeah, yeah, you should brag about stuff. If you did something cool or you learned something cool or whatever, literally brag. Yes. If you have something cool, talk about it. If you did something cool, talk about it. You know, because all that, when you look like you don't have problem, because people are vultures, dude. If you guys, like a lot of you guys, man, let me tell you something. Human nature is not beautiful. It is one of the most nasty, zero sum, lying, cheating, I could go on, manipulative, jealous, hating. That's who people are at core. These people are not your friends. Okay? So when I'm trying to tell you that, like, if so need be, literally lie. Literally lie. Don't ever tell people anything. Not any single person, not anything. Not even your mama. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Unless that person can literally help you with whatever your issue is. And there's some people out there, look, can Elon Musk give me $1 million? Yes. But is he going to talk to me? No. So, you also have to think about it. Like, do you have a good relationship with this person of sorts? And there you have it. That brings me not down to the next thing, which is never beg, never plead, never try to get somebody to like you. It's kind of like with that thing with the relationship or begging or anything. Never beg people. It's either the person wants to or they don't. If you get a no the first time, hit the deuces. Just get the fuck out of there. Just leave it alone. Even sometimes people won't even tell you no. They'll kind of maneuver their way out of the situation. Some of you guys, like, you need to understand the word no, even if people aren't saying it, but you need to understand the implication of the word no, or that even if it's not that, or subtle things that people don't like you. It could be anything. It could be like a lot of things. It could be something like if somebody doesn't message or text you back or call you back or anything of the sort, it means you're not valuable to them. You need to respect yourself and not ever talk to them. If somebody ever disrespects you or shows you their weird side or anything like that, cut them off. Cut them literally off. You know what I'm saying? Cut them literally off. You don't have to shake hands with nobody. You don't have to do any of that type of stuff. It's not like these people were worth anything or they were going to do anything for you anyways. You understand? And I'm not happy about the situation, but that's just how you need to operate in this world, In addition to never blaming people and stuff like that, blame other people. Blame other things. Don't blame yourself. Don't. Depending on what it is, but don't tell anybody or take the blame for anything. If anything, you should deflect. Deflect to somebody else or another thing or another factor at hand. You'll know the truth. But it's not necessary for people to know the truth. Let me tell you something. Human beings don't need to know the truth. Why do you think so many scammers and con artists still make money now? It's not that they're truthful or that they're knowledgeable. It's that they give off the illusion that they do or that they are. And that's how they make it. Now, I'm not recommending scamming, but I'm just saying there's a part of human psychology we need to study at the moment. If anything, you need to virtue signal in these streets, man. Not like in a performative and annoying way, but every now and then I need to virtue signal. In a subtle conversation, talk about how every time you buy food, you always buy an extra, for a homeless person who you'll meet while driving. People remember these little things. They may even know it's an outright lie, but it doesn't matter that it's a lie. It's the perception that it gives you. This is all about molding perception. You always need to protect your image. And a huge way of protecting your image is not by trying to fight people there. It's what you project. It's what you look like. It's what people interpret you as. Literally. And the better you're able to do that, I swear to God, you will see reality starting to bend for you in a very weird way. Especially if you put in, like, one of the things you should always do is you always, especially as a man, even if you're a woman, always project an image of strength and capability, of tenacity. You need to sound and look even if there's, you know how many people online sound intelligent because they're good at speaking English and weaving words together and using some regurgitated points. And for the normie, they think that they're smart. Now, actual smart people who studied and know this realm, they understand this person's full of shit, but they're not relevant. They're not. Listen, if I was trying to sell you a forex scam, I'm gonna say, guys, the forex chart looks like this, and when the indicator goes down and it goes up like this, to people who actually sell to people who actually do forex, who do financial markets, they're like, this guy's retarded. But it doesn't matter. I'm not trying to sell to the guy who already understands forex. I don't care about that guy. I care about the guy and the girl who don't understand anything about forex, and I sound smart. You see, so you guys know about that's how these influencers make money. They make money telling other people how to make money. And you will literally tell them what I just said right now, and they will still go buy that course. Human beings are dummies, bro. I swear to God, human beings are not half as smart as you think they are. I swear to God, human beings are herd animals. Human beings are prey animals. And what prey means, animals, is that they have a herd mentality. Look at our teeth. We were never predators. We were the prey. We were being eaten by fucking saber-toothed tigers, sickness, cold, spiders wanted to stab us, snakes. We were the prey. We were the species that was largely vulnerable. We're not that big. I don't care if you're 6'5", you're still not as big as an elephant. You're not that fast. We're not that strong, and etc. We're actually very below average in many capacities, believe it or not. So human beings have to cling on to whoever projects strength, and you'd want to be that person. You need to, and one of the ways you need to project this is that you need to believe that you are better than everyone, to the point. Like, you don't need to say it, obviously if you're better than everyone, you're super humble as well, but you need to really believe that if you walk into a sports place, let's say you're playing basketball, I don't care if you're good at basketball, you need to be like, I'm the best basketball player here. I don't care if somebody dribbled past you right now. I don't care. So what? The sun shines on a dog every once in a while. Like, you have to have this mentality. I don't care if you walk into a class and you got the worst paper, the worst score in there. I don't care. I'm still smarter than everyone in here. You know, like literally. You need to believe it. And when you start really believing it and thinking along these lines, um, you're also going to also start projecting it in your own life in certain places and stuff like that, because it's a very weird thing with body language. I think people heard this before, and it's a stat. Let me Google it real quick. I just Googled it, and it was actually more than what I thought it was. Turns out, I thought it was 60, 70%. Turns out, no. Communication is roughly 93% non-verbal. 93%. 55%, more than half, is down to body language. And the other 38 is tone of voice, and 7% is attributed to so your actual words that you're speaking is only 7%. But 38% is the tone of your voice, how you're speaking, how you sound. And 55%. So what we're understanding here is that, dude, even if you have like a pretty squeaky voice, if you nail the body language, people will believe you. But even if you have the most masculine voice on earth, that will get you somewhere. But then if the body language doesn't match, you don't understand. And by the way, fuck that 7%. Now, one of the things is that with body language, it's almost like, to a certain degree, you cannot fake body language. Like, people can give you the general cues and stuff like that, like stuff like sit up straight, walk with your shoulders back and broad and stuff like that. But that's not really what it is. You can try to do that stuff and look weird, and people can sense it's fake. It's almost like there's these smaller parts of body language that were just it's just human beings recognize and see and understand back and forth. And that's why, like, no matter where you are at, you need to walk in there like you are the man. You understand? I don't care if you're at a business meeting. Be like, I'm the one who understands everything here. Even though you don't, be like, listen, you guys can give your chip in and your input and give your own opinions, but I'm the one who understands this stuff. Now, you don't need to say this, but your attitude, your energy needs to be like that. Reality is, I don't care if you're at work and whatever. You need to carry yourself in that manner. And really, people are either going to fall in line or they're not. Now, I'm not saying curse at people, disrespect people, or anything like that. But I'm saying, honestly, to a certain degree, you need to fake it till you make it. To some degree, you need to, I don't know, you need to, I'm just giving you a tip here, you know, see yourself. You see, everyone has this idea of themselves, the peak version of themselves. Take that attitude and put it in here. And I know it's going to be difficult in some areas. And look, okay, fine. If someone has a gun to your head, I think you won't be that confident. I mean, I don't think you should be that confident. Give them your phone or your wallet. Okay, it's not that deep. But in other places where you're not going to be life threatened necessarily, let me tell you something. Going back to a previous part of this video, if you act weak or you act timid, it's not like people are going to like you. They're going to hate you. They're going to see you as a mark. They're not going to. Let me ask you a question right now. Say you have two people. Guy A is strong, he's smart, at least you think he is. He's smart, he's strong, and everything. And he asks you for help. And you have guy B who's weak, timid, maybe he's kind of quiet, he's not listening. Who are you more likely to help? Who are you more likely to remember? You're going to remember the first guy. And ironically enough, you're going to be more inclined to help him because you're just like, whoa, if he's this strong, that means he's going somewhere. That means he's going to do somewhere. And if I help him, it can pay me back dividends again in the future. Compared to this guy who's so weak and timid, you might think that, man, this guy's probably one of those instantly going to associate it with bad intentions with this guy. But in the meantime, he never did anything. But it doesn't matter. His body language did it. His body language is the one that did the thing. So projecting strength at all times will never be a bad thing. And one of the things about projecting strength is that never put yourself in a bad circumstance. Like, let me put it like this, right? If I don't know Spanish, I'm not going to be around Spanish people because I don't speak Spanish. Because I don't know Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. So why am I going to be around a bunch of Spanish speakers and look like a dipshit? Instead, no, I'm literally going to be by myself in the corner. If someone is going to speak to me, I'm going to be like, I don't speak Spanish, to their face, so they understand what the method is here. And then at that stage, they get to pick. Do you want to be here or do you not? And if they don't want to be, goodbye. Because let me tell you something about the people who you'll naturally deflect. It's not like these people are good. It's not like these people are useful. It's not like these people are going to do anything special for you. Honestly, these were the type of people who are going to backstab you at any point in time. Like, literally. So when I say project strength at all and all times, you need to be that way. You need to be the guy. I didn't say be disrespectful, which saying you don't speak Spanish isn't disrespectful, but honestly, who gives a shit? If someone says, do you speak this? I don't speak that language. No, just like that. Because now people get to make a decision now. When you project strength, bro, even your enemies, people who don't like you, or initially, they'll grow to respect you. And ironically, if you need help in the future or something, they might help you, which they probably will. But if you look like a weakling, they're not. That's just the way that it is.